What is up, guys? How's it going? Zach Ginn here. We are live. And in today's video, I'm going to give you a full breakdown on getting started with $1,000 in your real estate wholesaling operation. This is going to be really exciting live, and I'm really looking forward to it. So remember, guys, how every video goes, remember, you need to smash that like button and subscribe. And in exchange for that, I'm going to show you exactly, I'm going to give a full detailed breakdown today on what you should do with $1,000. Getting started wholesaling real estate with $1,000. This is going to be a really exciting one. I mean, this is one that's very highly anticipated. This is always in my DMs. Zach, can you break down what to do with $1,000? And this is going to be a really exciting one. I feel like we're really going to get the nitty gritty of it today and really want to do a full breakdown of it. So before I get the whole board and everything going on with it today, let's get some more people hopping on. But let me know, guys. There's some people here with $500, $1,000. It's like, what should you do with $1,000? And it really, there's a lot you can do. Am I going to do SMS text blasting with it? Am I going to do cold calling with it? Am I just going to do RVMs, dragging for dollars? What's the best way to spend $1,000 in your real estate wholesaling operation, especially when you're starting out? Because you got to understand there's different ways to do it. So let's get the board going and see what I can do to help you guys out. So this is the board, and let's start popping it off and seeing what we can do. So let's make this thing full screen so we can sort of see a more detailed breakdown. Now, I want to give one quick disclaimer. I feel like I have to, and this is very embarrassing, but I have terrible handwriting. That is the truth. I'm a highly analytical person. I'm terrible at drawing. So just keep that in mind for you guys having a fun time out there. So I'm a terrible drawer, but it's okay because the information's good. It's just the drawing that's bad. So let's get into it. So let's talk about the two ways we should sort of get into cold calling, because I feel like there's really two ways if you have $1,000 to really get into real estate wholesaling. And if that was my budget, that's what I do. So let's zoom out of here. So we got $1,000. So I know the drawing's bad. We're gonna have a great time with this, I know. So $1,000. See if the market works. No. Okay. So I got $1,000 for wholesaling real estate. What should I do to get started? I remember I told you there's really two routes, I think, for the best ROI possible in your wholesaling real estate business. There's two, and these are the ones I'm really going to break down right now. So obviously the first one is cold calling. Cold call. And I'm going to show you exactly how to spend the $1,000, how many leads you're going to get, how long you should really expect to get a deal. And then you have a drawing for dollars path too. And after I explain these two paths, now this is for the best ROI. Now, obviously there's like 30 different paths where, you know, for example, I can go here and talk about SMS, you know, we can do door knocking. I really, this is not the best use for $1,000, but you can door knock. There's a million ways you can do it. You can actually have an actual VA cold call for you if you really wanted to, but you'll throw $1,000 pretty quick. I can talk about bandit signs. I mean, there's so many ways to do it. And I really thought about it today. Again, I'm doing this from the computer. There's so many ways to get your first wholesaling deal. So how am I going to turn this $1,000 into millions and create the empire? You know, I mean, you got bandit signs, door knocking, SMS. I mean, I can go out here, try RVMs. I mean, I can really explain this forever. I mean, let's do direct mail, for example. We'll just do DM for direct mail. So the way I look at it here is when you're breaking down how you should spend $1,000, especially today in real estate wholesaling, there's so much to think about. So this is what I've done. Like, look, so cold calling, I've done the math here. Cold calling, drawing for dollars. These are going to be the two best gateways for $1,000, I think, that you should be doing. That is what I'm thinking right here. $1,000, cold calling and drawing for dollars. Unfortunately for me, I've done the math. I know exactly how everything's going to look here. RVMs, no. Direct mail is too expensive. RVM is, the trace acts can get a little rougher on it. Probably a year ago, I might have suggested RVMs, but in today's market, no, especially skip tracing costs. Bandit signs don't work in most markets. They could work for you. That's how I started, but that was 4 years ago. Bandit signs, you got to test out. Most likely, if I have to keep this video for the general wholesaler out there, if someone in Dallas, someone in San Francisco, Oakland area, Valentine's, no. Door knocking is too time intensive, but possibly you do good there. And then SMS, it's a third. So I would put that, let's put that yellow. Let's caution SMS there, because SMS is probably the third best. But the reason why I like driving for dollars and cold calling is because it's the best ROI. That's basically it. You want the return on investment. What is the highest percent chance that I get a real estate wholesaling deal? What is the highest percent chance I'm going to get a real estate wholesaling deal with $1,000? And it is my job here, it's my responsibility on this YouTube channel to explain to you exactly the best results you can possibly get. So when I'm thinking here, how can I help you out get a deal with $1,000? And I'm truly thinking about this is the last $1,000 you have for you to get a deal in wholesaling real estate. I look at these two. So really, before everyone starts going after me and starts screaming like, Zach, how did you go with these two? Because if I had $1,000, that's all I had. That's what I would do. So let's do the detailed breakdown on both. Exactly what you need to do with $1,000 to the penny. What you need to do, how long you have to work to get a deal with $1,000, how long that $1,000 is going to last you, and what you should really expect. So let's get it going. So let's go here. So remember, guys, this is recorded. So I know you want to copy and take all this stuff down. Hopefully this thing's going to save. So that's why I'm using Miro, and we'll get I'll go buy like a $200 or like a $500 iPad or something. We'll get this a little cleaner up next time. But I was really just thinking about this, and I could have explained this to you, but I'm a very visual person. So I think it'd be pretty cool if I can really break this down over here. So let's get going on cold calling, because that's the first one to talk to, and that's probably one of the most important ones. So let's break it down. So let's say here, let's see the text feature. Where is it? Right here. So let's say I got $1,000 for cold calling. Okay. Let's break that down. So what am I going to spend the first money on? I'm probably going to spend $97 on listrei.com. That's probably where I'm going to be going. So let's break this down here. So that's going to be my first thing, is listrei.com. That's what I do. I mean, that will give you around, I'd say 10,000 leads. That's pretty good. That's $97. About 10,000 leads. Also comes to the Driving for Dollars app. So it's kind of the best of both worlds here. We got the comp tools. We got all that fun jazz. So listrei.com. Let's keep it rough numbers here, but I mean, we can do it to the T, I guess, if you want. That was about $903. So $903. Now, let me get this out here, because I'm probably going to need, this seems important to text, because very, very bad handwriter. Let's see if I can edit this. So what should I do on listrei.com? So for listrei.com, what should I really be doing here? So for listrei.com here, let's break down exactly what do we need to do. So for listrei.com, we're going to go down here, and these are the lists that I think we should be pulling, especially when we only got $1,000. So for let's see here, make sure we're all good. All right, you guys can see this. So for listrei.com, I would say we need to go to, we got to get vacant high equity lists. We're going to do that. We're going to do pre-probates. We're also going to do pre-foreclosures. That's really going to focus. We're not going to do too much heavy emphasis here. I want to do a heavy emphasis here on vacant high equity. That's really where our bread and butter is really going to be on this one. That's probably what we want to do. So let me do this in the blue. Vacant high equity is super important, guys. So that's going to be probably the best one on this list out of the three. Obviously, I want the pre-probates. Obviously, I want the pre-foreclosures and the vacant, but really the vacant high equity is really going to be what I'm going to focus more on. Again, it could be different, but that's really what I would focus on right here. So increase the thickness on that a little. So right here, that's what we're going to do. So now we're going to do that. On top of that, we're going to do something that I call, if you're new, you probably know me if you've watched enough of my content, but government lists. Absolute killer. One of the best lists you can possibly do over here. And I cannot recommend government lists enough. Government lists are absolutely amazing. They're one of the best sources out here to get free, high quality leads. And they're better than paid leads half the time. So government lists, you should be doing this. If you're following this guide, this is what you should be doing with government lists. I'm telling you, get the water shutoff list. Get that from your utility department and ask for the water shutoff list. They will give it to you unless you're going to file a FOIA Act, Freedom of Information Act, and really go hard in the paint, try and get that list. But overall, you should be able to get that. Water shutoffs, again, go to your local county's utility department. Sometimes you have to go out there and actually go to the city or the county. It really depends. But overall, the water shutoff list is really good. It's a huge one. I definitely recommend for you to go out there. Code violations. If I'm spelled this wrong, go sue me. I don't care. Just trying to get the info out. Probates. Now, how do I get code violations? You go to the code enforcement office in your city or county. For example, here, let's say I'm doing Indian River County. If I did Indian River County here in Florida, which is north of Port St. Lucie, still in our market, a little farther than I like to be, but still in my market. The cool part about that is Vero Beach has their own code enforcement department, and Indian River County has their own code enforcement department. So there's two code enforcement departments in one whole county. So that'll do that. Probates, get that straight from the source, the county clerk of the court. It's a great way to go out there. Next here is tax delinquencies. Tax delinquency list. Get that one pretty easy, or like a tax lien list, and then just general lien lists. So that's where you can find IRS liens, credit card debt list liens. These are really good liens to do. And the cool part about this is all government lists, guys. So I'll try to break this down for you guys. This is all government lists. So the cool part about this, since this is all government list, is all of this data right here. No special place you got to get it. This is all free. So, I mean, what's better than free? I'm gonna write this down because I feel like people need to understand this is free. Yeah, so many times. How much does it cost to get this list? This is free. That's why I love it. It's free. They're high quality data, and they're super important. So government list, we're going to be pulling that. It's going to be a little tougher to pull, but it's actually really good. It is amazing. So let's see here. Next here after that, so we're going to pull all that. We're going to pull all the pre-probates, pre-foreclosures, everything from listria.com. We're going to get the government list here, and let's start getting out here so you guys see just a general view of kind of where we're at right now. So now we're going to go next here and draw a quick line. So next here, now we still have our $903. Where's that $903 get me? Well, what we're going to do next here is we're going to minus off $139 for ZachDialer.com. Why is that way? Perfect. We're going to do ZachDialer.com. That's just a triple line dialer. Really, use whatever you want. I just use that link because it gives you a 7-day free trial to try out the dialer if you like it or not. Always check contact ratios. If there's delays with anything, but use whatever dialer you want. And then from there, you should be at, let me get my handy dandy calculator, 764, I think. Hold on. Let's see here. 903 minus 139. Yeah, 764. Mental math is right. So this is going to be really important. So let's actually exit out this. So this is where we got to really break this down. So we have $764 left. Now, this is the part of the video where I can't make the decision for you. This is where you're going to have to make the decision yourself. So when it comes to cold calling here, you have two paths for this the $764. And they're two really good paths. Honestly, I'll give you my recommendation and then I get yours. But there's two paths we can do. So path 1 and path 2. So path 1 is we don't want to use any time for skip tracing and we just want to pay for it, which for $1,000, that is your limit. Probably should be getting the free stuff, but hey, some people tell me they don't want to. So for that, you get roughly 5,000 skip trace list skips. So a list of 5,000. So skip trace list, you get about 5,000. Not too bad, but you'll get that list about, I would say 15 cents each. And that's roughly going to find everywhere around the edges there if you want high quality data. So probably going to be around there. And hey, that's not bad. Like, honestly, not too bad. Not too bad. Let's bring that down a little. Not too bad. You get 5,000 skip trace list there. But if you want to do the other path where you have a lot more time on your hands, you can actually get basically unlimited leads, if that makes sense. So, and how can I do this now? It's going to be a lot more painful. Trust me. But you get a lot more leads. And this gives you a higher chance to deal. So it really depends on how much time you have. But you can actually skip trace with free skip tracing. A lot more manual, but it's free. Hey, it's free. Not going to lie. It's free. Hold on. Free skip tracing. All you got to do here is go over here to, let's see here. Then all you got to do here, looks like we're going to call from a contractor. Sorry about that. So let's see. I guess I don't have my ringer off. All right. So you get the free skip tracing here. Just go to truepeoplesearch.com. And that's where you get it. Like truepeoplesearch.com. I cannot like scream this about enough. I absolutely love truepeoplesearch.com. It is one of the biggest, most amazing websites out there for like free skip tracing. I've never found a better site for free skip tracing than that. And honestly, you can't get anything better than truepeoplesearch.com if you want to get free skip tracing. So overall, I'm going to recommend truepeoplesearch.com for everyone. Just depends. So if you are the person that doesn't want to wait, you want to get everything done as quick as possible, go out there and pay for the skip tracing. Use whatever one you want. I use smszach.com, but typically use whatever one you want. But it's a tough one. If it was me, that's all I can tell you is what I would do if it's myself. I would go the True People Search route. That helped me so much when I started out when I had no money. So that's the one I can recommend. But really use whatever one you really want. So truepeoplesearch.com is really good. And that's kind of what I'd recommend when it comes to the cold calling. So we can go here and look. And I guess I was going left here. But this is what it sort of looks like here. So obviously, screenshot this if you want. And we'll go to the next one here. So the next one is if we're going to decide we want to do the drawing for dollars route. And drawing for dollars, this is another route where I think will give you a really good ROI on your money. And I don't think you can go wrong with it. So let's get green for money here. We're going to drive for money here. And we're going to see what $1,000 gets us there. So $1,000. Get a lot going on here. We get a lot of really good stuff with $1,000, especially when it comes to drawing for dollars. So let's break it down. So let's get right here for some expenses we're going to see here with drawing for dollars. So out of the bat for 1 month. Now this seems expensive, but this is what I do drawing for dollars wise if you want to get your first deal with $1,000. So all you really got to do, $500 is going to go down the drain here for gas money. Gas money, depreciation in the car, whatever you want to call it. Overall, that is the cost of actually running the car for the whole month for drawing for dollars. Just going to call it gas money. Also, we're going to have to pay for a Drawing for Dollars app, be as efficient as possible. Obviously, you can use Google Maps, do pins. You can have a notepad and paper. You can really have whatever you truly want for it. But honestly, I would probably prefer use just a Drawing for Dollars app, so you have everything as quick as possible, easy. Because as you see, we're going to have a lot of leads. And we're going to want to know how we're going to efficiently do these leads correctly. So the cheapest one out here, the best ROI, I would say $97 again, listrei.com. So let me write that down. So with listrei.com, roughly it's $600. So we'll have about $400 left over. So now we have $400 left over. So what can we expect with with PropStream, listrei.com driving app, and $500 with gas money? What are we going to do? What's the plan? And I have a plan for you guys here. So the plan I would say here, when it comes to everything here, is what you should expect. So let's get the text out here because it's probably pretty important that we talk about. You'll probably be cold calling. Let's do 450. I'll be driving for dollars 4 hours a day. Driving for dollars. Not sexy, not bad, but that should give us about 60 leads a day. That's probably what I'm thinking here. 60 leads a day. On average, that's probably what you're going to find, and that's not bad. So in the course of 7 days a week for a month straight, 28 days, 4 weeks, we should get around, let's write this down here, about 1,680 driving for dollars leads, which if you guys know anything about cold calling driving for dollars lists, completely different than cold calling a high equity list or just a regular cold calling list. This is a completely different type of list, and it's absolutely amazing. And you should get a deal from this one easily. So it's a really good one. I don't know many people that do this many driving for dollars leads and doesn't get a deal. So this is a really good one. If you put the hustle to it, easily this should net you a deal right here. That's enough leads. But what are we going to do with the rest of the money? Because we only have $400 left. So let's go back to the top here and talk about the $400. So with that $400, oh my gosh, it's terrible. Whatever. You guys get the point. With the $400 here, what we're going to do is we're going to spend about $252 for skip tracing. Yeah, we're getting the board soon. $250, $252 in skip tracing. That's the cost. So at the end of that, that'll probably give us around, let's see, leftover about $148. So not too bad. We still got some plenty left over here. And that skip tracing will provide us around 1,680 leads, depending. If you use like code Zach on batch, you'll probably get 50% off of that, which you could probably double it, but we're not going to talk about that right now. So we have about $148, let's say 150 left over. It really depends, but really it's not that bad. So with the remaining here, again, that's about 1,680 skips. Which is pretty good. Not bad. So about 1,680 skips. So now we have $148 back there. So that should get us around, let's get the calculator here, handy dandy. Should be around, after skip tracing should get us about 986 more skip trace leads. Not bad though. So in total, I put this at $0, which is how you kind of want to have a budget. So with that, we got about 1680 plus 986. So now we have a total of about 2,665 leads, I would say. We'll round $1 off for anything. So now we have those many leads we can work with. And these are super high quality leads. And you might be asking, Zach, really quick here, on this 986, what should I do? I'll tell you to do a high equity vacant skip tracing on the zips that you drove. Simple as that. Same area. We're going to work the same area there. And then boom, we should be able to get a deal from that. So both of these strategies should net you a deal in a month. Or for cold calling, if you do the free option, it might take you 2 to 3 months if you want to make, $30,000, $40,000. But it really depends on how often you're going to call, how many hours you're going to call. But for cold calling, it usually takes 1 to 2 months. Drawing for dollars, if you do this in a month and you really go like gun ho on it, you should be able to net plenty of stuff from there. So you should be able to do very well from it. But again, I can't guarantee you get the results unless you actually do the work. So this is the game plan I would tell you to do. Like, it's really not going to be that complicated. So let's pop everything on here. So you guys can do a quick screenshot there, get a little PDF, and I'll tell you exactly where I'll share the PDF for you guys. But let's see. So you guys can screenshot this if you want, but that's exactly what we're looking at right there. So remember, guys, if you want the PDF for this, or you want more stuff, I'm starting to probably do more of this. We're going to get like the iPad and then the whole pen thing, so we can do the a little more fancier. But if you guys want copies of that stuff, all you got to do is just go to my Facebook group. That's where I post them. So if you go to Wholesaling Houses for Real, aka my free Wholesaling Real Estate Mastermind, that's where you find it. I just want to confirm really quick that the link is good there. And we should be able to do very well. Like, that's what it is. That's how we get it going. So that's all you really got to do. Just go to facebook.com/groups/wholesaling houses for real. And that is exactly where you can go out there and get the PDFs from there. It's pretty cool. It's my mastermind. I got a free wholesaling course in there. I'm not trying to sell you on anything in there. There's no course to upsell. Everything's free. It's exactly what I want to do. And that's how I intend to do it. So that's it on that part, guys. So right now, what I want to do is really see what I can do to help you guys out. So obviously, I've time blocked a lot of time out here helping you guys out in your business. What to do with $500, $1,000, $2,000. Really let me know, what can I do to help you guys out? That is truly my goal here on this YouTube channel. I want to help you make over $100,000 per year in real estate wholesaling without paying a dime. So that's what I'm trying to do. And let's see what I can do to help the people out here for wholesaling real estate. So let's get some questions. Make sure you comment below your questions, and I'll do my best to answer them and see how much value I can provide to the wholesaling real estate community today. I'm really excited. All right. Fam, YT says, keep dropping those gems. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thank you guys so much. Freddie Games, what's up? What's up? Good afternoon. Good afternoon. Let's go, OG. We should have been doctors. Oh my gosh. See, Smelly Rock, what's up? Zach the GOAT, we love you. Zach and Ricky, both a genius, mad respect. Thank you so much. Rodrigo asks, what is ROI? And ROI is return on investment. Return on investment is what your return is on the investment. So I don't like to give a definition of something with the definition or the words with it. So the return is, let's say I give $1,000 out, how much can I get back? A certain percentage. So if I get $10,000 deal, the ROI on that 1,000 is, I can do the math. So it should be 100%. No, about 1,000. Yeah, 1,000 would be on that level, I'm pretty sure. So let's just Let's see. Yeah, 1,000%. So just want to make sure I got the numbers right there. So 1,000% would be the return on investment on that, and you should do pretty well doing it. But remember, the ROI is different on wholesaling versus like a regular property. Don't expect 15% here on wholesaling. It'll be a lot more than that. But you got to be careful with it. You just got to make sure everything's good there. So that's what I would do. Bar Sean Zimmerman says, what about PropStream? ListREI.com, aka LISTREI.com. That is the link for the free PropStream trial. That's kind of the same thing. Brenda says, hello, Zach, giving so much gems. Thanks. Thank you. I appreciate it. Thank you so much for giving value out and supporting the community here that we have here at Flip with Rick and the Zach Ginn YouTube channels. Bonsai says, Zach, I've been doing exactly what we've been preaching and got 2 appointments next week. Bonsai, thank you so much for actually putting your trust in me and really going out there and implementing the action. It is so important to go out there and implement what I'm saying, because it's one thing to watch my videos. There's plenty of videos you can go out there and watch, but as long as you actually go out there and commit to the action plan that I give, and I promise you, you'll find results. It'll do very well for you. You just got to go out there and do the action. That is a lot of the problems with people not getting action in today's business, is they're not putting in the action, they're not putting in the work, and they're not really doing what's truly required for them to go out there and do well. So thank you so much, Bonsai. Brandon says $1,000 is silly. Where do you start if you had $100,000? If you had $100K, probably do some direct mail and do a whole high equity list and go out there. That's probably what I do. Let's see here. What's your contact ratio for cold calling? I don't want to give one out. It just really depends on the type of list. So probate's going to be a lot higher than, let's say, like a pre-foreclosure list. So it really depends on the list. Let me know what list, and I can kind of give you a rough assumption there. For water shutoff and code violations, how far back do we ask for? About a month. 30 days is probably what I'd recommend there. Again, listrei.com. If you like mind mapping, you should check out Simple Mind. All right. Oops. Let's see here. How many people do we pitch on a typical cold calling day, or how many hours for solo op? How many people? It really depends on the list. Like I'm saying, you could get in front of, 300 people in an hour, get in front of 100. It really depends on the dialer you use also. That's why I try not to make it very general. So if I tell you expect to 4,000 people in an hour, if you're using Google Voice, you're not going to get it. So you got to be very careful the way you do it. If you use a triple line dialer, 10, there's still people using 12 line dialers on Zen Call. So you got to be careful. The Trace Act is, like most YouTubers, we're saying the opposite, that the world is going to end. Cold calling is bad. Buy this course and I'll show you how to. No, it didn't really affect much, and overall is pretty good. So what I can tell you right here is expect 2 to 7, 5 hours a day, 5 days a week. That's probably what you'd be expecting to do, and that's probably what you still need to do today. So 5 hours a day, Monday through Friday, 2 to 7 p.m. That is the times that I recommend cold calling. Obviously, do it in the morning. I mean, do whatever time works for you. But if you had to pin me down on a time, that's the time that I'd take. Zach, how do you go about explaining assignment to sellers if they ask during escrow? So it really depends on how good the escrow is, kind of the paperwork you sign. So if someone, I never get asked about assignments because we build a lot of trust and rapport with the sellers. But if you usually get asked for assignments, I think we've been called out once or twice on it. So the way that you'll do with an assignment is I'll explain that, hey, sometimes I'll close on the transaction. Sometimes my partner will close on the transaction. Overall, me and my partner, we're going to buy the property, all cash. That's as simple as that. I'll talk about so many deals we've done around the area and just see what works or not. But usually we're closing a lot of these deals because of the wholesaling we're doing. So it's a little different. But it's just usually me or my partner, and your cash buyer is your partner because you're partnering up with them to make money. So duh. Samuel says deal machine. Yes, you deal machine, but remember with the drawing for dollars thing that I did spill out there, overall, you don't get 10,000 leads you can actually pull in there. So I keep that in mind when you're doing everything. Bonte says, how does the escrow paper signing work? When does my seller and I and my end buyer going to send the paperwork? At the on closing day or the day before. But usually, sometimes you don't have, it really depends on the transaction. And call the title company and ask, because every state's a little different. How about VAs for $100 a week for 4 weeks? Yes, but remember, if you only have $1,000, I don't want to burn $100 a week on VAs if you can do it yourself. What is the Drawing for Dollars app you use? Again, I use listrei.com, listrei.com. It's the one on the bottom here scrolling. That's what I do. Flix says, is $500 enough to get started? Yes, $500 is enough to get started in your real estate wholesaling operation. I would probably do the cold calling method I did, where you about $764 left over. I would just cut off that dialer. You should get about 500 on there. So that's probably what I do if I had $500. Alina says, you're amazing. Thank you, Zach. Thank you. Buba Azunu says, what you think about the Memphis market? Memphis is a really good market, actually. I think it's a really hot one out there. Definitely I would definitely recommend Memphis as a real estate wholesaling market. Some people say it's really saturated. Some people say that it doesn't. It really depends. But I think Memphis is a good market to go at, especially that Arkansas region over there. Obviously, Memphis is in Tennessee, but they're on the border there. So overall, pretty good. Isaiah says, who have you used for skip tracing? Who has the most accurate skip tracing? Batch Leads, aka SMSZach.com. Probably, I would say, is the best skip tracing out there. They use credit bureau data, so I don't want to repeat myself too much on this, but with credit bureau data, they're going straight from the credit sources. So if you get your credit pulled, usually you get a mortgage on the property, they have your phone number. So credit bureau data is really essential. It's really important, and it's honestly what you need to be doing out there. So credit bureau data is what I'd use. It's honestly what I recommend all the time. But again, that's good. Top tier. Next top tier one is like TruePeopleSearch.com. TruePeopleSearch.com is still one of the best ones out there. Do you invest in tax liens and deeds? I don't really do like deed investing, but we'll invest in a list for tax liens. That's probably what we do. Tyler says, need to do a video on most common hiccups during a deal and how to get them, examples, cloud on title, and the occasion not having both signatures on the contract. Well, we'll have Rick on tomorrow, and he'll talk about it all. Like, Tyler, you come on here tomorrow and ask, and Rick will answer it. He's got the info, trust me. Let's see here. Use a coupon code, it's 15 cents. So just do a ZACH, Zach, code Zach, I think. Use whatever one you want. It really doesn't matter. Let's see here. Question, postcards in addition to calling. If you have the budget, then yes. If you don't, then no. So if you have more than $1,000, that's what I'd say. But obviously I probably not. So let's see here. Question, postcard. So no, I win it with $1,000. Now you got 10,000 a month, 15,000 a month, and yes, that's probably what I do. Let's see here. Got some great questions, guys. Thank you so much. Pete says, awesome father-son team. Does Rick's mobile number end with 352 or someone with that number where we are impersonating Rick? We got like 15 numbers. Hold on. So no, not that one. Not as personal. Nope. No. Nope. No, those are Rick's phone numbers. So yeah, someone's impersonating him. Rick, honestly, we all love Rick, but he is not going to be calling you guys asking for anything. Rick will barely call you unless you're like friends with him. So if you're getting a call from him, it's probably not likely. If someone who subscribes to this channel, if you're gonna get a call, probably from me. And hopefully you guys know my voice good enough. And if you ever hear me trying to sell you on a course, tell you to pay money for something, or like pressure you on, like, I'm not gonna call and make a sale on like stupid. No, none of that stuff. Appreciate the concern though, Pete. Letters versus postcards as far as ROI. Postcards are better ROI. They're cheaper, and they kind of get the point across the same amount. So overall, I think letters are really good. Probate letters have a better ROI, though, and I think it's really important to differentiate that. But I would say letters for probates is better, but postcards, I'd be careful with that. So postcards, I would say, is better. What do you think about joining the Real Estate Investors Association? Do you think I think it's a good idea in your local market. Really, it's really good for JVing and really networking with people. So I would say it's a really good one out there. It's definitely something that I would recommend here. So let's go move some stuff off the table here. Is that Dell asked, do you think about skip tracing with PropStream? I think PropStream is good for skip tracing. I did not release that video. Oh, I guess I have to reel it now. I talk about live. I have a video of the top 5 skip tracing sites and services, including free and paid. That video will be out in the next couple of months. Remember, when I do a video, it takes a while for it to get edited, chopped up, exported, all that fun jazz, the thumbnail stuff. So when I do a video, it takes a while to get it going, maybe a month or 2 to get out to you guys. But I have a video on that. Is that Del? DM me, and I'll send you that list of the 5 I did. But I think it's funny. So it'd be really good and easy. So yeah, I'll let you know. But PropStream is top 3. That's all I can tell you on that list. So PropStream's really good. I love Batch more, and I love True People Search more. But overall, what I can tell you is PropStream, you can't go wrong with it. Just 15 cents beats the higher cost of PropStream. They're getting the same data. Daniel Peck, what's up? It's freaking hilarious. You refer to your dad as Rick like it comes out naturally to you, almost like he's not your dad. LOL, good content as always. Daniel, I say that not to confuse you guys out there because obviously we're in the business together. So if I just keep saying dad to you guys, it's going to get very confusing if you're new to this channel. I got to show you the analytics of this channel. There's so many new wholesalers coming in every single day that they have to sort of understand it. It makes it simpler. If I say Rick, it's Flip with Rick. You guys understand that. You guys on the Zach Ginn channel, Rick Ginn's my dad. But we run the same business together. So it's easier to explain it. So it's just a little more professional to say the person's name over dad, or father. So just because I've been in the business setting with him for 2 years now or whatever on this channel. So that's what I'd say. But no, I don't call him Rick in person. It's dad, but it's definitely just different in the lives. Trying to refer to people makes it a lot simpler and easier. What's the best list to go with low budget? Again, government lists are my absolute favorite. Water shutoffs, code violations, probates, utility lien list if you want, but lien lists in general really good. So that's probably do tax delinquencies if you get that. Probates, obviously. So that's probably what I do. All right, answer that one. Justin says, can you wholesale a sub 2 seller finance if we use the same contract? Yes. Depends on your state though, but you should be able to if the contract was done right. Phrase has been calling vacant list and tax delinquent. You should. If you call that list 3 times, you should be at 90%. How often should you change the phone number for use for cold calling? I would say every month or every other month, depending on how big of a dialer you're doing. How does virtual appointments work after finding a motivated seller? So after you find the motivated seller, you contact them, you talk to them, and then you actually call them, and you either do like a Zoom or a virtual chat, or it really depends on the seller, or you just do it all over the phone and negotiate from there, get like an e-signature for them to sign from there, and you should be good to go, simple as possible. So really not different than a regular appointment. You just have to have the conversations over the phone, get pictures and everything like that. But that's really how the virtual wholesaling really goes. Isaiah says, what's your experience with subject to? We do a lot of subject twos where we're at. Of course, we're going to do a lot more if the market ever changes. I'm sorry, excuse me. When the market changes. But right now we're doing a lot more lease options and a lot really on the creative financing side, a lot of wraps, sandwiches, stuff like that. So that's probably what I would say. But my experience with sub 2 is pretty good. But it's going to change when the market shifts. We're probably going to do a lot more of those. Let's see. Siren says, you said that Portland isn't a good market. I live here and bought a list. What do you suggest? I'd suggest you cold call it and test it out. If you're stuck in there, I'd drive for dollars in that list, but really water shutoffs might work, but I don't think Portland's going to do water shutoffs. So it's a tough one. What I can tell you here is I would probably try to get some virtual, do 50-50, 50% virtual, 50% in Portland, sort of see your results. That's kind of what I'm thinking here to get the best results, but obviously it could change. So that's probably what I recommend. Let's see, I'm in Fayetteville, North Carolina. I'm looking at Raleigh, Durham, and surrounding areas. What list would you recommend for these locations? So drawing for dollars in Fayetteville is the best one. Raleigh, Durham, I would probably do vacant lists on there. That's where you're probably going to find the best results for your wholesaling operation, more or less, over there. So that's what I would say. Isaiah says, do you know any wholesalers crushing it in SoCal? I'd love to link up with them if I could. There's some good ones. DM me and I'll probably get in contact with it. How to get started and become a professional wholesaler in real estate. Either choose to do the cold calling or drawing for dollars. If I were you, Zane, I would probably do the cold calling. That's probably what I do. John says, after a text campaign, when do you contact the not interested and those who don't reply? Do you text them again or call? I would retext them every other month and then cold call that list after. So text that list, cold call that list, then text it again. Rick's on here every Friday at 5 p.m. Eastern. Where are you having the best returns from? SMS, cold calls, emails, direct mail. So direct mail gives us the best generation of revenue. But honestly, I would say right now, cold calling still. Also, PropStream allows you to set up a web link that allows you to forward to your list, allowing them to message you if you're interested. Allows you to forward your list, allowing them to message you if they're interested. For what? Okay, I don't think PropStream was texting. I could be wrong, but great info. Thank you so much. I really appreciate it. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I call it Kelly IG. What's up? I called the utility department. They said they don't keep a list for water shutoff. I would recommend you go in there in person and ask. They have a list. Ask them if they're honestly, just put them in a trap, Kelly. So the one recommendation I can give you if you want to put someone in a trap, quote unquote, here is ask them if they keep a record, if they shut people's waters off. Yes, we shut people's waters off. We don't pay. Well, don't you keep a list of people who are not paying right now? Yes. Do you have a list of the waters you shut off? Yes. Well, can I have that list? Quick overview. How do you do a virtual deal when you don't see seller face-to-face or have boots on the ground, do everything, contract assignments via email? I will email the contract. The rest will be over the phone for the negotiation process. That's exactly what we do there. Boots on the ground, I'll have them. Usually go on like a 4-job site or like a job site for the county or city. Overall, that's probably what I'd recommend there. It really depends on the seller. So send everything over email, .loop, DocuSign. Most people prefer DocuSign. I like .loop, but DocuSign's a little tad easier, I would say. But .loop's just what I'm used to. Inspections, I'll get a contract signed and then have someone go out there, take pictures, pay for it. Boots on the ground. They'll get the pictures of the house. There's a lot of really simple ways to do it, but Facebook's the best way to do it, or Craigslist. Just a regular smartphone, get 75 to 100 pictures, and it's pretty simple. Zach, do you still cold call yourself? I haven't cold called in about 2 years. Actually, I'm wrong. So I did a bunch of videos where I cold called 2 hours straight for 3 weeks straight. I just did that for YouTube. You can go out there and search Zach Ginn cold calling, and it should pop up. I did a bunch of lives, or Flip with Rick space Fizbo cold calling. Cold call 3 times, 2 hours straight. Got a lot of great cash buyers, a lot of great motivated sales leads, 1 monster probate virtual deal. All that fun stuff. Like, it's all in there. So that was technically the last one I cold called myself, but I really did it for you guys, not really for my own operation, but I thought it brought a lot of good value. So we had a little pinwheel. Everyone commented what markets they wanted. I put like 30 markets. It spun the wheel, and I chose the market, the FSBOs on that one, showed you everything, all the data, all the ad copy I would use on there for the cold calling there, all the objections. You guys all saw it live. It was really fun. It really shows, though, that I'm not a perfect cold caller, but I still get leads and I still find hot, motivated sellers because I go out there and just do it. That's the secret, guys. Like, I'm not going to be the most knowledgeable wholesaler out there in real estate wholesaling. I'll promise that. I do not have 30, 40 years under my belt, but I will be darned if I don't work as harder or not. If I work, I will be darned if I don't work harder than them, which I do. So that's what I do. John says, when running an SMS campaign, at what point do you call the person when they indicate they're looking to sell the property or they possibly would be? Then qualify them from there. Freddie says, what phone system app does your VA use to contact to your dialer? Really depends on which one they do. Some use like CallRail. Some will use like a VPN and use Google Voice. It really depends on what they're doing. Some interesting ones out there that I can't talk about right now, but they work really well for the Philippines. What's the minimum percent to be considered high equities? 40% I think is too low. I like 55%. 60% is kind of what we're kind of comfortable with. Your closing date is in 30 days, but the seller and buyer are ready in 7 days. Do I have to wait the entire 30 days, which I tell the what I read on my contracts, which I make very, very, like I'm very specific on this, is when it comes to this, is with the 30 days, it's on or before the 30 days. So it can be on or before. So I have the out, not the out, but like the chance that I have 7 days to go out there and close it. Alana says, call tools versus SMS Zach versus ease of use. SMSZach.com will probably have the best. ZachDialer.com basically has the best like user interface, but ZenDialer is technically sometimes better. Call tools is really good too. It really depends. Is vacant list the best target for motivation? Overall, if you like a live list, yes, that with high equity probably be the best for motivation. That's probably what I prefer. P wants to know, is everyone using the same filters and the same list? Aren't we bombarding the same audience? Really, when it comes to a seller, it's timing over that. Again, we'll cold call the same list that everyone else is cold calling, and we'll still get deals from it. It's because our people are really good. Once we're getting a lead, beating other wholesalers out using rapport building strategies and everything like that. So overall, that's what I would tell you right now. But possibly that's why I like driving for dollars. That's why I like cold calling. You just keep hammering lists, you'll still get it. I'm telling you, saturation is a thing, but most people aren't willing to put in the work to cold call that much. So that's what I could say from there. Great. Thank you, RK. Thank you, thank you, thank you. Zach, is Batchley still working well for you in SMS after the new law been implemented? Is it worth over cold calling for a newbie? I already explained this, I think, in the beginning a little, but cold calling over SMS, we're still doing very well on it. You know why? Because overall with SMS, it's not really destroying the results that like you could get on it. Like the SMS has obviously gone down year over year, but it's like, let's say we're gonna make $100 million and then we make $90 million. It's like, oh no, we're losing. We're still making a ton. I'm not making $90 million, but you go from $100 to 90, like it's not the end of the world. So we're still doing it. Cold calling like year over year is more. Direct mail year over year is more. But SMS still working well for us. So we're not going to stop it. But for as a newbie, cold calling, I still prefer it to gain the skills talking to sellers. Pete says, I live in the UK, and would I still be able to access to fire damage and water? Yes, you can. Easily. Yes. Which list do you recommend in a competitive market like Atlanta? That's a great one, Hickball. Driving for dollars would probably be the best list you can get. Still, vacant, high equity, or tired landlord lists are still one of the best ones out there. So I still have to recommend that. It's still one of the best ones out there. So I will still recommend that type of list. Kelly says, which is your approach if you pulled a list, started to call and see that the list is being bombarded? Which is your approach? I would still cold call that list and just keep at it consistently. But depends, because I wouldn't pull a list like that. Depends. So if I'm on my Phoenix, I'm not going to call a high equity list. It's way too bad. I would do drawing for dollars list, and that won't be bombarded. So I'd probably stick to government list and quit that and start doing government list. Obviously, I've paid a bunch of money. I'm still going to cold call that whole list for about 3 or 4 months straight and see what happens and see the results from there. That's probably my recommendation from it. Facebook says, any rapport building tips? Do you have any available scripts? Thanks, Zach. Thank you so much for the support here, but this is pretty important here. So let's break it down. So let's go pop up where I got all my scripts. So rapport, I don't have like rapport scripts. I have cold calling scripts. I have tons of videos. That's where I go. Go to Wholesaling Houses for Real on Facebook. That's probably where you'll find the best results from. But what I can tell you right here, when it comes to rapport building and these available scripts, I would personally recommend you just go to acquisitions. I have so many acquisitions training. Just go to YouTube, search acquisition space flip with Rick or acquisition space flip Zach Ginn. They'll all pop up for you. They're all really good. Honestly, you really can't go wrong with these. So that's probably what I recommend for it. But rapport building scripts or tips I can give you is remember the Ford method. F-O-R-D. Ford. It's the Ford method. Focus on their family. Talk about their family. Talk about, you go in the appointment. Is there pictures on the wall? What does it look like? How can I build a connection with them, with family? That's a really good one to do. O's occupation. Where's their occupation? What do they do for a living? Possibly if you're in that field or you know someone in that field or someone in your family's in that field, that'd be a really good one. Recreation. What do they do for a living? What do they like to, that's occupation, but like recreation, what do they like to do for fun? Is it what they do for a living? Fishing, sports, comic books, whatever, video games, probably younger sellers there, but overall see what they like to do and see if that's something you can connect with and talk about. And then from there, dreams, where they want to be in the future and where they see themselves in the future. So that's kind of what I personally would start recommending when it comes to that stuff. Hopefully that helped you. But look at my cold calling. Look at my cold calling ones. Look at my acquisitions training. I have live seller videos all the time. So just this YouTube channel, looking like you're on Facebook there. So you're part of the Wholesaling Houses for Real Facebook group, which is great. Search Flip with Rick and search Zach Ginn on YouTube. They both have exclusive content on wholesaling on each one. Flip with Rick has exclusive Rick Ginn content about wholesaling, which is killer. And then obviously you got mine, which is killer also on the Zach Ginn YouTube channel. So both YouTube channels together have exclusive content on both about wholesaling real estate. I had so much content I want to give. Like obviously Flip with Rick, I was going to do 2 videos a day. And then the YouTube algorithm said, we're not going to show your videos to as many people if you do 2 a day. So I said, screw it. I'm going to do a video a day on the Flip with Rick channel. And then I'm going to do a video a day on a Zach Ginn channel. And where I'm going to just get double the value. And the YouTube algorithm's like, okay, you're doing 1 in each. That's fine. We'll show it to the world. So that's how I have 2 YouTube channels. And they're both exclusive content on both. So you guys should be on both. The Zach Ginn YouTube channel and the Flip with Rick YouTube channel. Rick Ginn does exclusive Rick Ginn content on that. Zach Ginn exclusive content on that. But they're both here to help you guys make $100,000 per year in real estate wholesaling. Judy asked a great question here. Where can I find the tired landlord list? You get that from listrei.com, listrei.com. Isaiah says, what's your preferred strategy over cold call versus text blasting? Do you have a template to use for text blasting at all? Search SMS text blasting space Flip with Rick. Should be plenty of videos on there, and I'll show you what I do. I basically ask if they're the owner of the property and if they're interested in selling it, but I show you the spinner tokens, everything to do with smsact.com on there. Cold calling with $1,000, I prefer it. SMS is way easier though. Hands down. If you got the money, hands down, way easier. Let's see here. What's the best app for drawing for dollars online? Listrei.com, listrei.com. Not a lot of people know, but PropStream, you actually get a free drawing for dollars app with it. So that's, it's the best one. But overall, I would say Deal Machine's way better. Not way, like a little bit better, but listrei.com, you're going to pay for the list. So just get the free drawing for dollars app while you're at it. What do you do if you can't find a buyer to sign the contract to? I would JV it with someone on Facebook. Do your VA dump all the skip trace in one list and folder to have sub? I have subfolders for everything, but I still have a huge master list. I pulled the tired landlord list and saw they'd been called by 3 wholesalers, but well, I'll go through it anyways. All right, still go through it. Best list pulling software, listrei.com, listrei.com. Let me get a banner on here for you just so you guys can see it. Listrei.com. Simple as that. Go to Wholesaling Houses for Real on Facebook. That's where you find the best one. Zach, what channel? They're both on both Zach Ginn on YouTube and then Flip with Rick on YouTube. They're both going to do the exclusive content. They're both great wholesaling stuff. You can't go wrong. Who do you recommend to use as a VA? Upwork.com, UPWORK.com. Some opts out of the SMS list. Should you permanently delete this contact? No. I've called over 4,000 leads today in 4 different markets, and I've yet to have a lead or contract signed. I know I'm doing something wrong, but I'm not sure what it is. Comment below what list you're doing, how many, what kind of dialer are you using, and let me know about the data on that list. New Orleans, I would say bandit signs are not working there. I know people in that area, probably not doing too well. And then how long should you make an inspection period? 30 to 45 days. Pete says, I love these sessions. Thank you so much. Might sound silly, but do you give condolences to the probate leads that no? I act like I don't even know it's a probate. Huge, really important you know that. When you're cold calling a probate, don't say that, hey Pete, I saw your aunt died. I want to buy your house. No. Hey, is this Pete Miranda? Are you the owner of their 123 Main Street, which is the aunt's house that died? Well, you think possibly, wait, yeah, sure. Are you interested in selling that property? I'm looking to sell in that area. I'm looking to buy properties in that area. Simple as that. Last question. Does the seller see the assignment fee on closing? How do I feel bad for making 15 to 20,000? Don't feel bad. You're helping someone out. You're you're providing a service for them. You're helping the seller out. If they don't want to deal with a realtor, they don't have to. I always expressly tell my sellers that they'll make more with a realtor. Some people choose the ease and convenience of a cash sale over it. That's why there's pawn shops. That's why there's used car dealerships and people selling at 2 dealerships. So that's it. Quick question there. Do you have a purchase and sale contract? Yes. All you got to do here is go to the bottom here, www.flipwithrick.com/contract. That is my free PSA purchase and sale agreement. Again, that is www.flipwithrick.com/contract. It's on the bottom there. Following it right there. That's it. So thank you guys so much. Have a great day. Have a blessed one. I truly appreciate your